In my world, we have a saying that goes, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." That's true, not only for mariners, but in every person's life. We face adverse conditions and learn how to deal with them. And then we put these things behind us in our wake, to await the next challenge that is sure to come. And quite often, when the sea relaxes its tempest, things can be calm, peaceful, and soothing. At the end of a hard day, we take time to reflect and look around, and sometimes we see something truly spectacular. I'm Mike Rezebeck, and this is My Mariner Life. Hello and welcome back to My Mariner Life. My name is Mike Rezebeck. In the last video, I went over what you need to get your credentials to become a mariner. But thanks to a suggestion in the comments, I added some links in a separate comment to that video that should help you, find some of the process that you're going to need. So in this video, we're going to assume that you have your credentials and you've been hired to work on a ship. You're due to check on board or relieve somebody, let's say in a few weeks or so. So now we need to prepare on what we need to take with us to get on board the ship. So the important step in all of this is you want to communicate with your company and, more importantly, with the individual ship that you're going to. Because a company may say, okay, well, we have this or we have that. We expect you to take this or that. Whereas your ship, they're going to know better. They may say, okay, well, that all sounds well and good, but here's the reality of things, and they'll let you know. So you're going to have to ask some questions. You're going to have to, and this is going to be kind of key in this whole video. I'm probably going to say this a few times. You have to communicate with your company and your ship. So will your company have new hire training? Will they, have you come to them before you go on a ship and go through some training? If you're going to be on the oceans, you're likely to be given a course called STCW. And what that is the International Convention on the Standards of Training, Certification, and Watchkeeping for Seafarers. You do need that if you're going to work oceans. You don't need it if you're working inland U.S. or the Great Lakes. That's basically a one-week course. Again, your company will probably send that to you. They'll probably pay for it. If not, see if they reimburse you. But anyway, that course will include CPR, advanced firefighting, personal survival at sea, security measures, and safety and social responsibilities. So that will probably be a lot of training for many of you, unless you're going into the inland waters. If you are going inland or Great Lakes, I recommend getting an STCW anyway. It's good training. If your company is in inland or Great Lakes, ask them if they will pay for you to go to a course. Again, it's really good knowledge to have, and it also keeps your options open. If you don't like being on the lakes or on inland rivers or something, you want to try the ocean, then you're a step ahead and you can be able to do so. Will your company give you a welcome aboard packet? Will they mail you something with like lists of things that you will need versus what they provide to you? More likely you'll have at least a couple of days with the company to fill out paperwork, all your financial stuff, union information if you're part of a union, insurance, your tax forms, things like that, typical of any employment. Travel, will they give you a travel allowance? Will they do they use a travel service like my company where you can call and you say you're part of this company, and you let them know, hey, I need a flight from, say, Chicago to Norfolk, Virginia, or to Detroit or Cleveland? Will they pay for hotel or reimburse you for a hotel, rental car, any meals that you have while you are traveling to get to your ship? So find these things out. Communication, big, big, big thing. So ask your company about the following. So do they provide any clothing? Do they have a clothing allowance? And if they do, when does that take effect for you? You know, some companies may have you work for 90 days before you're eligible for a clothing allowance, so you might have to buy some things of your own until that kicks in. You know, do they provide any boots? Do they provide any coveralls? Any kind of like a work uniform type of thing? The majority of companies, especially US, they will provide you with PPE, or personal protective equipment. So we're talking about like hard hats, safety vests, gloves, safety goggles, things like that. So ask them about PPE. Ask them about any toiletries that you will either need or that they supply. For example, soap. Now, most companies are going to get like your regular bar soap. It's going to be, you know, a cheaper product because they can buy it in bulk. It's easier to store. So if you have a particular, like, you know, shower gel that you like, you know, you like the scent, you like the style of it, and you know, it's just a comfort thing for you, you're going to want to have that. So either that's something you packed with the stuff you bring on board with you, or you can maybe order it, have it shipped to your ship, or you know, you can maybe order it online depending on the type of stops that your ship has, or even go up the street and shop. So also ask about what kind of amenities do they have. You know, do they have Wi-Fi? Are you going to have a TV in your room? Are you going to have, you know, your own bathroom or shower? Or is it going to be a shared space kind of thing? You know, most companies are wanting people to have their own individual rooms. You know, will you have to share a living space? Most ships, they want you to have your own personal space, so find out from your company about that. You want to see if they have laundry facilities, or if, you know, if it's a laundry service that goes on and off the ship. Find out about storage. You know, are you going to have storage on board for things? Because your rooms aren't that big, and you might have a small closet. You find out if you're allowed to alter your room any, you know, by adding some hooks or something like that to the walls. So you want to pack light. I usually recommend, you know, 5 days worth of work clothes, some coveralls to wear for winter and summer, underwear and socks. You know, I pretty much recommend that, you know, you go 7 days to 10 days, you know, of underwear and socks, because they pack relatively light, and you know, you have extra. Let's see, when you're packing, you want to roll your clothes, you know, roll them up nice and tight. Those vacuum sealed storage bags, they work really well. I actually use those myself. It takes all the air out of the clothes and compacts them really nice, so that adds some room to your luggage. Make sure you don't go over 50 pounds, because when you go to an airport in the US, you know, you're going to pay for additional baggage fees if you're overweight on the luggage. Whether or not you go back to the same ship is an issue. You want to find out from your company. You know, you might be on a relief status to you, so you may be going from one ship to another to relieve people going on vacation until you've gained some seniority. If you're lucky enough, you might spend an entire season on one ship, and if you want to leave some things on board while you go on vacation, you want to find out if, you know, maybe there's a, you know, luggage storage area or something like that on board that you can keep things, because when you leave your room keep in mind somebody else is going to come into that room, so you want to make sure it's clean for them, and you don't want to keep a whole bunch of stuff in there because they're going to want to keep their stuff. Things that you want to get for yourself, like a certain type of toothpaste or shaving cream or whatever the case may be, maybe some kind of snack or something that you like particular that you can't find on the ship. You want to see if it's feasible to order online, or is it better to go shopping when you get into a port and you're off work. Find out from your company what ports you usually get groceries and supplies from. Find out the names and numbers of those companies, get in contact with them, ask them, hey, what kind of things can I order through you guys, or what kind of things can I have delivered to your company to be brought out to the ship. That way, if your family wants to send you a care package, or you want to get on Amazon because you saw something that you really want, or I really wish I had that on board, I'll just send it to that supply company and they can deliver it with the groceries the next time we're in that port. Kind of find out from the cook, who's usually a good indicator of when you're going to be able to get things delivered and where. That's a good way to find out. So what's my inventory? Well, I carry a couple of pair to 3 pair of coveralls, because even though I'm a watch stander, I also do work that is going to get me dirty. Stains, paint, anything that can get on your clothes will. Coveralls are a great way to deal with that. You can get some lightweight ones for the summer so you're not burning up, and you can get some insulated ones for the winter. I do have, say like 5 t-shirts that I wear, and switch out to, long sleeve t-shirts or hoodies, depending on the type of weather. I have some composite toed work boots from Carhartt, because they fit my feet real well, and the ones that I get have never failed me. Short break-in period, and the last ones I bought were 4 years ago, and they're still going strong. Hoping to get another year out of those. Also, muck boots. You might have some ports where it's raining and the dock is muddy, or your cargo is muddy, or just the rain itself. You want some boots that are going to be, weatherproof. So the muck boots are good. Gloves. Again, I go with Carhartt, just because it's a brand that I know real well. I like to get the ones with the reinforced palms and fingers. Also has like the cushioning on the knuckles and things like that, because you might be working with wires and things that they'll have little frays in them that'll be like almost like fish hooks, and they're going to be better than what the what the ship provides, because any kind of work gloves the ship provides are going to be a lesser quality and just a basic thing they can get in bulk. I usually go with a week to 10 days worth of underwear and socks. Your socks, I recommend wool. They'll keep you warm in the winter, and then in the summer that allows your feet to breathe and you won't sweat so much in them. Thermals. Thermal is something I recommend spending very good money on, because you want thermals that'll keep you warm, things that are going to keep kind of the wind and the chill off of your skin, but also allow you to breathe, because once you start working in thermals, the cheaper kind, you're going to start to sweat, and once you start sweating in the cold, you're going to get cold. So spend good money on those things. Keep in mind of what season you're going to be sailing. So, a light jacket in the fall or a heavier jacket in the winter. So I recommend anything that has a really good quality for being windproof, because cold is one thing, but cold with the wind added to it is another. It can be miserable. So let's go into some miscellaneous items. Things that, you kind of want to have on board, you'd like to have, don't necessarily need, but yeah, you kind of want to have it anyway. So a laptop, some personal electronics, um, earbuds, your phone is an obvious thing that you're going to want to have with you. Bring chargers. Make sure you have chargers, some way of plugging in any of your electronic equipment. Some people have hobbies that they like to get, order things to do their hobby with. I'm a painter, so I order paints and brushes and things like that to be sent to the ship. You know, flashlight. Get a good compact flashlight with a really high brightness to it. Let's see. Went over. Oh yeah, personal electronics. I've seen guys bring gaming systems on board because the Wi-Fi, they're able to play games with their friends back home, and that's fine. Just remember, anything you bring with you are things that you're going to have to take back with you. So, if you have something that has a rechargeable battery to it, those are things you're going to want to have on a carry-on because you can't pack them into your regular things. So that's about it. The biggest thing that I want to make sure you all remember is to communicate with your company and your ship. More importantly with your ship, because they're going to have a better idea of what they'll be able to provide you and what you need to provide for yourself. You want to be prepared when you first work on a boat. After you've been on a boat for a while, then you have a better idea of like, okay, I don't need this many things, or maybe I should bring some more stuff the next time. If you're going to be going back to the same boat and you have a good relationship with everybody on board, it's like somebody may take delivery of a package that you send to the boat before you get there, and they'll put it in a safe spot for you. So those are things you want to think about. You want to think about things that you want to have with you and prioritize them. Say you're going out for 2 months as a relief for somebody going on vacation. Ask yourself, well, am I going to really need this for 2 months? Am I really going to have time to do anything with this particular item, or can it just wait till I get back home? So just keep those in mind. So that's it for this week. I want to thank you all for coming. Please communicate with me through the comments, if I miss anything, especially you ocean guys, because my only ocean experience is in the Navy, and that's like a different ball game altogether. So if I miss anything, please fill me in on the comments, and I will try to address those either in a comment back or on the next video, or I might even do a little video short to address those questions and comments. So next time we are going to assume that now you're on board and it's your first few days, and what you can kind of expect, shipboard culture, kind of the way things go, different examples of duties on board, and what kind of watches you'll have, what kind of hours you may be working, things like that. Any ocean guys and guys that are not working on the Great Lakes, maybe if you can comment ahead of time before I do the next video. I will be going on vacation here in 5 days. I do plan on keeping this channel going while I'm on vacation, but keep in mind that I also have some things I have to get done at home. But I will do my best to get another video with some content out. So again, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.